I kissed my boyfriend every day for 3 months. I looked into his eyes. I felt his scent. I believed every word he said. But the man I loved was never who I thought he was. It all started in the fall. I was 19 years old and had just started design college. That's when I met Lucas. Dark hair, a crooked smile, that confident way that made my knees weak. He walked up to me at the cafe holding 2 cups of coffee. "You look like you need caffeine," he said. And silly me, I thought it was the cutest gesture in the world. 2 weeks later, we were dating. Lucas was perfect. He took me out to dinner, sent me good morning texts, introduced me to his friends. I finally felt seen, chosen, prioritized. Or at least, that's what I thought. By the second month of dating, I started noticing strange things. Some days, Lucas was affectionate, held me tight, remembered every detail I told him. Other days, he was distant, cold, like I was a stranger. "Lucas, are you okay?" I asked. "Of course, why wouldn't I be?" he replied, without even looking up from his phone. I thought it was all in my head, that I was being insecure, too clingy, but the feeling wouldn't go away. One day, he called me by a different name. "Sophia, did you see my book?" When I corrected him, he laughed. "Sorry, I was distracted." But that mistake, it broke me inside. Who was Sophia? Why was he thinking of another girl while he was with me? I started feeling invisible, inadequate, like I would never be enough. His mood swings got worse. One week, he showered me with attention, flowers, sweet notes, long kisses. The next, he barely replied to my messages. "Lucas, did I do something wrong?" He sighed, annoyed. "Olivia, you're too dramatic. Not everyone needs to be attached all the time." My friends started noticing too. "That guy doesn't deserve you," they said. "He treats you badly." But I couldn't accept it. Because when he was good, he was amazing, and I blamed myself. If I were nicer, prettier, more interesting, less questioning, maybe he'd love me the way I needed. I was sinking into a relationship that was hurting me, and the worst part, I had no idea I was being deceived in a way I could never imagine. 3 months after we started dating, I got that message. I went to the park like he asked, and there he was, sitting on the bench we always sat on, staring at the lake. "Hi, love," I said, sitting beside him. He pulled me close and kissed me, a long kiss, the kind that makes you forget the world. "Olivia, I need to tell you something." My heart raced. Was this the moment he would break up with me? But before he could speak, a voice shouted my name. "Olivia!" I turned around and froze. It was Lucas, exactly like the one beside me. Same height, same face, same green eyes. What is happening? The Lucas who had kissed me stood up slowly. The other Lucas was red with rage. "Mateus, what did you do?" The real Lucas said, his voice shaking. Mateus, that was his name. The twin brother I never knew existed. Everything suddenly made sense, in the worst possible way. The mood swings, the cold days, the confusion. It wasn't Lucas, it was Mateus. He pretended to be his brother, went out with me, hugged me, kissed me, and I never noticed. I felt dirty, betrayed, like my reality had been torn in half. Who was my real boyfriend? They both turned to me, and for the first time, I saw the difference. Lucas had tears in his eyes, real pain. Mateus had something darker, satisfaction. Lucas pulled up his sleeve. "It's here, Olivia, remember? I showed you on our 3rd date." The birthmark, I remembered. I even joked it looked like a moon. Mateus had nothing. The truth hit me like a train. For 3 months, I had been sharing my relationship with 2 people. One I loved, one who used me. In that moment, I realized something. I was not stupid. I was not blind. I was a victim of cruel manipulation. And the shame I felt, I had been used. Why? Why did you do this? You're a psychopath. Mateus just shrugged, like it was nothing. Because I wanted to. Lucas always had everything. He was always the favorite. I just wanted to know what it was like to have what he had. They started shouting, fighting, years of rivalry between brothers coming to the surface. But I couldn't hear anything anymore. I turned around and walked away, because in that moment, I understood something important. Neither Lucas nor Mateus deserved my presence right then. I needed time, alone, to process everything at my own pace. It took me a week to talk to Lucas again. When we finally met, he was broken. He apologized again and again. He said he never imagined Mateus was capable of something like that. But even with all his pain, I knew what I had to do. Lucas, I need time, away from you, away from all of this. Because the truth was this, even if Lucas was innocent, being close to him reminded me of Mateus, of the kiss that wasn't his, of the lies that weren't mine, and I couldn't separate one from the other anymore. Sometimes loving someone means letting them go, even when it hurts, even when you wish things were different. The next few months were the hardest of my life. I went to therapy. I talked to friends. I cried until I had no tears left. But little by little, I started to find myself again. Lucas sent me messages from time to time, respectful, kind. He never pressured me. He was always caring. Mateus? He was expelled from college after other girls came forward. He had done this before, not only romantically, but also by borrowing things and never returning them, then blaming Lucas. I wasn't the only one. I learned something important. You can love someone completely and still be living in two different realities without knowing it. His twin brother had deceived me, and deceived his own brother too. Today, 6 months later, I am different, stronger, more aware, more me. And Lucas? Well, something happened that I never expected. I decided to give Lucas another chance. He respected me and tried to prove that what once seemed like a perfect relationship was real. In this story, he was deceived just like me. Everything we were building fell apart, but now we are trying to rebuild it together. The truth is, it wasn't our fault. If you related to my story, like and subscribe.